You are with Destination Newry, the morning programme. I am Rowan Edward Mary Martin Hand. As you can understand, my mother was a divil for names. This is a man known to me as Feargal McCormack.
Good morning, Rowan.
How are you, sir?
Not too bad. Good
You're
to see
welcome. You were yesterday, Patrick's Day. Were you out in the festivities, or did you have a quiet day?
No, I had a very enjoyable day. I started off with my family, Anne and Rory. We went to Mass in the Cathedral Newry at 8:30 in the morning. And then we went to for breakfast in the Canal Court, and from there we went to Crook Park. And we watched the All-Ireland Club Hurling and football final. And believe it or not, St. Peter's Warren Point, along with St. Finbarr's in Cork, Anne received it, were acknowledged for leading the Healthy Club national on the pitch during the interval of the All-Ireland Club final. So 16 clubs in total were honoured. That you're aware of that Healthy Club program.
Oh, yeah. We've talked to you before about
Katrina
it.
Kernan and Anne McGeaney have led it in our club, and I must say they've done tremendous work.
Yeah, no, it was and huge that kind of recognition is coming to Warren Point.
Well, believe it or not, what's going to happen is I think you're going to see this program rolled out across the entire country now. Originally, Warren Point and St. Finbarr's in Cork were asked to mentor it with 16 clubs throughout Ireland.
Remind people of what it is. I remember it, but you tell the people again.
Well, it was basically using the GA organisation to put in place action programs to enhance the quality of people's physical and mental health within the community. And what it was really saying is, you have people playing games, but that's only a small part of the community. How do we enhance the well-being? Now you take, for example, in our own club, we have quite a variety of initiatives. First of all, a questionnaire was done to try and find out what people felt were the issues in health. And then they've tried to engage youth. They've had drugs awareness and alcohol substance abuse for youth people. They've tried to involve females who were never involved in the club in fitness training. The club school liaison, the healthy school day at the school, a lot of effort went in there. There's been interaction with the PSNI and interaction also with the health authorities. You have the joint community initiative with the Walsh's Pharmacy, the walk and talk. There's quite a few of these things.
No, we get the drift.
The key point is to stress the importance of enhancing the wealth, both mental and physical, of your local community.
You mentioned the PSNI.
And how you support insisting with that.
Of course. The expected ugliness of St. Patrick's Day in New York with protests against the PSNI and the Garda Síochána walking together, they never really materialised. People, they walked together and it was good.
Well, look, I think the reality is, you're always going to have in any large democracy, you're going to have varying views. That's the reality. And quite often, people who shout loudest are heard. But the reality is that I think, as a community, I think, and as a world, we're beginning to realise that diversity must be respected.
And also the diversity of protest, which, that's what democracy is about.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get carried away. And I think that common sense normally prevails.
Absolutely. Have you a take at all on the Boeing 777 of Malaysian Airlines? What is going on
Well,
there?
now Destination Newry giving its judgment. Honestly, I don't know. I think the sad thing is, and there are lessons to be learnt, that there is subjective opinion and there is facts in any story.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate.
Everything's been
It's unfortunate that the facts at times have had to be corrected a number of times. Now, I think that is unfortunate. Whatever about the
certainly not by us. I would tell you, just to keep that.
Now, whatever about the subjective opinion, and obviously the reality is we're into a very complicated case. I mean, the best brains in the world, no doubt, have been working on this for over a week. The best intelligence brains, best aviation brains. I hope it comes to a resolution soon. I think, unfortunately, in the light of world communications, it has also maybe shared information with you and I, the public, that perhaps it shouldn't. I think the ease at which people could dismantle communication systems, I think now you're going to obviously see the intelligence services around the world make sure that they get around that somehow by putting some form of a device on a plane to let you know what's going on.
It's fundamentally a wake-up call.
It is. But I mean, I think you got to think of those poor families. You got to think. I do feel sorry for the administrators as well, by the way, because I mean, they're coming up there. They can't create something that they don't know, and yet they're coming under phenomenal pressure. And I think that everyone needs to step back in due course.
Yeah.
I think there'll be lessons to learn. But the big one I do think is keeping separate facts from subjective opinion.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Absolutely. Let there be facts and never assume. That's the Irish News front page this morning. GAA, we're back to GAA, issues writs to social club members over debt. That's the casement. Antrim County Board taking the solicitors' letters to the members of the casement social club. There's 37,000 owed in running costs. And the board, God, you think it's sad it went to that extent, isn't it? That they would be sending them. I
have to be careful and declare perhaps a conflict of interest in that I'm sitting on the Casement Park board. And therefore I'd rather not.
We'll not talk about that.
We'll not talk about that.
We'll move on from that, and I'll take you to cycling. Not you cycling, although that's there for us in the future, I hope. I would encourage it with lots of enthusiasm. But your own Paddy Harty, here he is, big budget breakfast, launching the Irish News FPM post-budget breakfast on March the 27th. We have, left, right, Irish News Marketing Manager John Brawley, Senior Tax Partner FPM Paddy Harty, and the Irish News Business Editor Gary MacDonald. What's all that about, dear boy?
Well, I hope you first of all acknowledge the creativity with the Giro Italia here. Paddy Harty is exhibiting the Giro Italia jersey, and he's also exhibiting a bike that I think most people will be amazed at the cost of. So he's showing the type of bicycle will be used in the race.
How much does this bike cost?
Well, I wouldn't know, but I can tell you certainly wouldn't bet out of your pocket money. But more importantly, I think I hope for you acknowledge the creativity in saying it's time to prepare for the new tax cycle.
Yeah.
And what we're really saying is that, or even gear up for the new tax cycle. But I tell you, the creativity. But what's really happening is obviously this Wednesday, George Osborne is doing the UK budget.
What should we be looking out for? What's going to hurt us?
Well, let me first of all link it into the following Thursday. Then, if you don't mind, then I'll come back to that. So FPM traditionally have run a post-budget event with a difference each year, but a week after the budget, when we actually, as opposed to rejiggering the actual raw stats of the budget, we interpret what are the implications for business on the island of Ireland, not both north and south, and we bring along a leading economist to give an overall economic view, and we also bring along Brian Keegan from the Chartered Accountants of Ireland Institute to look at international effects. And with that combined with our own team, tax team, it normally attracts over 300 people, and I don't think this year will be any different. And as you know, we've talked briefly about it, but I think we could be honoured perhaps by Destination Newry and your programme joining us on that morning.
I would very much like that.
We'll see what happens. Thursday, 27th of April.
I being an economically challenged fellow, it would be quite exciting to mingle.
I think you will enjoy it, because I think, to be honest with you, from a Destination Newry point of view, separate to the event of people, you will have some of the business decision makers on the island there, and it's a real hub activity. It happens at 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. It's over the quays. It takes over, the cinema. And it's very impressive. Now, getting back to your point about the budget.
What need we fear?
Well, I think that
I know what you're going to say. No fear.
No. I think there's a couple of things we're very clear about. He is going to continue to implement an austere budget for public sector spending, and that will have implications without doubt on Northern Ireland. I think secondly, income tax, more people at the lower end will have tax come outside the net of tax. I think more people in the middle income group will be caught within the 40% tax rate. I think some of the issues he will look at are, he will look at basically perhaps announcing a new childcare tax refund, tax credit facility for young families. I think he would look at the possibility also, the capital allowance, the incentive for businesses, tax incentive if they invest up to £250,000 in plant and machinery in 1 year. Currently, they get what's called 100% annual allowance relief. That was due to end in January, and I think there is a hope that he may extend that or even increase it. Because research has shown that actually the most significant impact on business growth is capital investment. I think research and development, you will see him continuing to encourage that, and obviously flushing out more the whole area of the patent box, which has previously been announced. There is a possibility he may bring forward the reduced level of corporation tax to 20% in the UK, bring it forward by a year. And stamp duty would appear to be another area that's being looked at. We're not seeing it over here as much, but in UK mainland it's quite a significant issue currently, particularly residential houses in the London area.
Okay, broadly speaking, are people holding a steady course? There's a great buffeting going on of folk. Financial, fiscal buffeting, they're hither and thither. But we're coming a wee bit up and we're doing better all the time. Are people holding their heads?
Well, look, as you and I have said on a number of occasions, the fragile recovery is in progress, albeit that Ukraine and things, I guess, can quickly knock it off. I mean, you look at the level of trade that England is doing with take Germany, the level of trade that Germany is doing with Russia.
Wow.
Even that the UK is doing with Russia. I mean, the implications of this, if something changes, could be dramatic.
Well, the thing that is changing is the Ukraine thing. And
but the bigger issue isn't Ukraine. The bigger issue is how actually the world deals with Russia, and more importantly, whether it sacrifices trade for political.
Wow.
And if trade is sacrificed at the highest level, then you have issues, because actually, believe it or not, Russia is a very important trading economy for Germany.
Absolutely.
Very important. So I think there are issues there, but getting back to your question, I think the honest truth is that people are perhaps not enjoying, they definitely aren't enjoying the quality of life they were experiencing in this part of the world pre the economic crisis. But perhaps at that stage we were enjoying an overinflated cost of quality of life, and we were living beyond our means, and we were no longer competitive. So I think, much as I don't like saying it because it affects myself as well, I think that maybe we've had to take a bit of pain, and hopefully we'll learn from that pain and not get carried away, and therefore I think we'll not use bank debt to the same level. I think that we will realise that we have to remain competitive, and it would be absolutely madness to match a slight improvement in economic activity with significant growth in wages. It won't work.
You know, I think, but I'm a beautiful example. I'm an example of austerity, because the last 10 years I haven't indulged in things called credit cards. I wouldn't have them around me. I don't need them, so why should I have them? And the Buddhist in me keeps paring back all the time. And it's quite a joyful experience when you get your teeth into it.
You know what, I think, to be honest with you, it's like everything else. The extremes aren't good, but somewhere in between, we all have a level of, well, I need to be careful, I'm not saying we all, but a significant proportion of the population.
I love your carefulness. It's very impressive, by the way.
Well, I think the danger in a conversation like this, by going at the generic, you can inadvertently, unfortunately, make a comment which at an individual level are seen as unfair.
But truly you protect against that always. I hear it in you when you make the distinction.
Well, what I think I'm trying to say is that there was a level of waste, and I think a lot of people have pulled in their waste. They just had to, and I think you see it in many regards. You see people shopping more often in the supermarket, not doing the large one-off, doing 2 or 3. You see it basically, I think, in people being more careful with their holiday spend. I think you see it, maybe somebody bought 20 football jerseys, now they're living on 5 because they realised for most of the time you couldn't wear 20 jerseys. So I think there has been a conscientious decision. You're seeing people refurbishing their houses in Essie and repairing. You're seeing, I just see you lifting your shoe there. I think if you check with the shoe repair shops, you will find out they've had a dramatic improvement, because more and more people are putting soles in their shoes, replacing them rather than buying new shoes.
I always did put soles on my shoes. Did you just throw them away and buy new ones?
No, I didn't, but I was always conscious with your bare feet that you exhibited to the world normally for 6 or 7 months of the year, maybe even 10 months of the year, that you maybe didn't give full appreciation to the sole on your foot. But it is encouraging that you do that.
I think you will always look after your soul. It's very important.
Well, we all must need to do that. Maybe we need to do it more.
God bless you. Go well. Take care.
Thanks, Ron. Goodbye.